I have a dinger.
I know.
We're good.
Mine's buried right here. But anyways.
Hey, I've been dingless for how long? I mean,
I
how
know.
many times have we come live and I haven't been ready to ding my dinger? So guys, it just happens. But oh man, I can't believe like we're back already, like a week later after the other one ended. Here we are in a new show.
I know, Bravo. Could you give us like a week off? You know,
just 1 week, you know, instead of like shoving 2 episodes down our throat every week and then a brand new cast. But I'm gonna have to say it delivered. It delivered. I think Below Deck Down Under had definitely delivered.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
I mean, well, just initially, I think, I mean, you and I try not to text each other too much about the shows because we want to keep the content for here when we're talking. But
yeah,
we were both like, this will be good. This will be a good season. So, and they just kind of kept it at that. But I think we both agreed, like, this is a good cast. My thing too, and we talk about this a lot. I love when the cast is competent and everybody seems competent. And so
we love that.
Yeah.
Sailing was competent. Everyone in Sailing was competent. They just, emotionally weren't competently
Sure. And I think that ends up as aggravating as it can be. And we're yelling at the screen. But if that's the stuff that's more fun to deal with, watching someone who can't do their job is not fun television. And so when we've had that in the past where it's like, oh my gosh, this person can't, why are they even on the boat? That's aggravating,
it's like Tom, I think his name was Tom Pearson. I think he was on the last season of Sailing. He was that they fired him. Glenn fired him, but
yes,
craziness, guys. Anyone who's new here, welcome to Anchor Watch. This is our late night Below Deck chat where Josh and I take over Up and Adam's channel to talk about our favorite show, Below Deck, and of course, Bravo's highest rated show besides Vanderpump Rules season 10. Below Deck is killing it with the numbers, guys. Thank you for being here. We see you guys all in the live chat. Those for you listening on the podcast, please rate us, give us 5 stars. We appreciate it so much. I don't know where to start here. I almost want to start with the cast.
Yeah, well, I think first episode
an introduction.
We need to go through the cast, and then the story on the first episode kind of becomes secondary. It all is part of the introduction to the cast, and so
yeah.
Although we had a story this week, usually the story is just getting to know the cast, but boy, we had some drama from our guests. So
it's we always ask for certain things, Josh. Like when we talk about the show, it's like we want a competent crew who can bring the drama, but we also want the kind of salacious, demanding guests. And right off the bat, I mean,
I know. I thought I saw
would be
you
embarrassed.
I thought I saw you on.
You did not see me on there. And if you're referring to this guy or this was not me. I just want to let you know that it's not me.
I had to triple check.
I only have black Speedos. I don't have blue. So that was not me, but thank you, Josh, for your concern. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh my God.
No, I mean, listen, we right off the bat, we have people who really just don't give a shit. The guests don't give a shit. They're just there to have a good time, but we'll get into that.
Let's talk about the crew. Let's talk about the crew.
Let's talk about the crew and let's start at the top. Let's start with our captain, Josh. I know you didn't watch much of season 1, Below Deck Down Under, but now that you're an avid watcher of season 2, with 1 episode, what do you think? What do you think about?
You know what? Actually, I did watch a couple episodes of season 1, and then that was the time where Bravo didn't know what they were doing, and they were doing one show on Peacock and one show on Bravo, and it was just tearing us apart. And I could only fit one in my life, so I chose the other one because that's the one we were covering. But I did see a couple episodes. So I already kind of had a little bit of a hint of what Captain Jason was like, and then this episode, I mean, look, he's the kind of captain you would want to work with. He jumps in there, he does work, he's not too high and mighty to help cook crabs, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he's there to get the job done. And he realizes this list of work needs to be done by the end of the day. And if I can help check some of those off, I don't care. I'm not too high and mighty that I can't help check some of those boxes. And he jumped in and just started checking some of those boxes with the crew. And that's admirable to me.
And where would you put Captain Jason in comparison to like some of our more like well-known captains, like let's say Sandy or Lee? Like where or Glenn? Where would you put Jason in this? Do you think he's gonna, ride up on the top with them?
Look, for Bravo, for a variety of reasons, he's a great captain.
I mean, have you seen the promos?
Yes, I saw the promos, but also, he's a handsome guy. He's a good leader. He's strong. It's like, and isn't this kind of what you like? If you told AI, make me a photo of a sea captain in his 30s, 40s, that this is the dude it would draw, right? I mean,
100%.
So
100%.
Yeah, he's great casting. They really lucked out finding him. And also, let's not forget, he's compelling on TV. It's one thing to be, a pretty face or whatever, but to actually be someone who's compelling and like, I enjoy hearing him talk, or when he explains things about the ship and stuff. It's interesting. That's hard to find,
So if I have a question for you, Josh, do you find me compelling and unique, or do you find me just a pretty face?
My God. How do I answer neither without hurting your feelings?
Where is none of the fucking above? All right.
Oh my gosh.
Captain Jason. So there is rumors, and these are very, very foreign rumors, but remember that Below Deck Down Under filmed its second season before last year's BravoCon. Hear that? So
this has been in the can for over a year, folks.
And so much so that a lot of the cast were wondering if it was ever going to air. Now, we also know that Below Deck Med has also filmed before last year's BravoCon. And there's been a lot of talk on there's a crossover kind of cast member joining the show. Aisha Scott, our chief stew, was just on Hannah Ferrier's podcast. Hannah used to be the chief stew on Below Deck Med. And she was hinting at a crew member we might see kind of come back. And when you come back, it's going to be so exciting. And then people were like, where's Toomey? Where's Toomey? Because everyone loved Toomey, the second stew from the first season of Below Deck Down Under. Toomey filmed Below Deck Med. I think from what we've been hearing that she is our new chief stew on Below Deck Med. So we'll see for next season. That would be kind of be a cool crossover. You and I have talked about how cool it would be if they just all cross over.
Or just start picking out all-stars and give us an all-star crew for the main Below Deck. Like, why not? Like, Below Deck all-star. Yeah. Bring on our favorites. Throw in one nutty person. And let's go. And let's see. I've got to say, like, just as you were talking about this and you were talking about the seasons and stuff and the other shows, we have a really great bunch of captains right now.
We have a great set of captains.
Carrie, Sandy, Glenn, Jason. These are all strong captains. They're all great in their own ways. Yeah, I think we're in a time where we have some great captains.
Well, we talked about too how Below Deck is kind of like the Real Housewives franchises are going through a little bit of a shakeup, a little bit of a refresh, a renewal. It's the same thing with Below Deck. They've been talking about this for a long time. And, when you guys talk about Captain Lee, we get a lot of comments about Captain Lee. Captain Lee was an amazing captain. He set the precedent for what a captain on Below Deck is, right? So that's great. But we all know, right now he does have some things in the works, possibly with Bravo still. However, when you go in to sign a contract, usually with these captains, it's about 5 years you sign this contract with production. So with all of his health concerns and him not, being replaced twice, right? Season 9 with Captain Sean, season 10 with Sandy, they had concerns. And I'm sure that went into the decision-making of like, do we offer you a 5-year contract? We want you to take care of yourself, be healthy, stuff like that. I think we will see Captain Lee make an appearance somewhere soon. But with the rumor mill spinning, I just want to go on these crossover things. There have been rumors about Jason and Carrie possibly switching places after they have filmed these seasons. I don't know if those rumors are completely true. I don't see them being true. Carrie is based out of Florida. Jason is based out of the Philippines / Australia. It just works. So I don't think we'll see that. But the cast member to who Aisha was referring to, do you have any guesses on who this deckhand is? Because if you look at the cast list, right, we're missing a stew. And we know that stew, her name is Margot. She is on her way. She's finishing a charter. I think she's also going to be someone that we have to keep an eye on, but we're missing a deckhand, and you can't find this deckhand anywhere.
Which is interesting because this is filmed so long ago that you would have thought surely this would have slipped somewhere, or somewhere. This person would have put it on their Instagram or something, shots of them filming.
And they
I don't know. You have a theory, right? Or did you find out?
Well, I have a theory. Actually, it's a confirmed theory. But Aisha, like I said, was just on Hannah Ferrier's podcast and saying that we're going to have a crossover. We're going to get a new a deckhand, you know, someone coming on, and that they can talk about it a little bit. So she hinted. But at the time Below Deck Down Under was filming last year, my God, I can't say his name, from Below Deck Med will be joining the cast of Below Deck Down Under. So that should be interesting. Definitely.
I remember, Jason, you and I have watched so many cast members
I know.
over the last 2 years. I totally remember him. The thing, what stuck out to me right when I saw him was, I think he was the guy that was a little weird, right? Wasn't he a little weird?
Yeah, he had like a thing for Hannah, and yeah, it was, yeah, definitely. I think.
People are already posting. Oh my God, no,
guys, this has already been confirmed a long time ago. You know, that's what happens is when they film these shows so far in advance, people come out with stuff and then it gets buried and you forget about it. And
Joao,
thank you, Joao,
thank you, Becklington.
Thank you, Becklington. So yes, he will be joining the cast. He was quite the time on Below Deck Med. So I can see already with the crew that we've been introduced to, him adding a little cherry on top, let's say.
Well, okay, now things are starting to come back to me. I do remember, and here we are talking about someone who hasn't even arrived yet, so we got to get back to the crew. But I do remember Joao was the kind of guy who he thought he knew the right way to do everything and made it clear he wanted to do things his way, which this crew strikes me as the kind that ain't gonna fly with.
Well, Joao, oh my God, Joao was a bosun. So now he's going to be working for a bosun, a new bosun, an experienced bosun, especially in that area. So I wonder if there's going to be any kind of that animosity or that kind of alpha male energy we saw from Gary on Below Deck Sailing, you know, when he was late to the game and came in and everyone was already going.
Okay, these are some hilarious quotes. I'm putting them up on the screen for those of you guys who are listening at home. Oh, great. I remember him. I could see problems with him and the new bosun.
100%.
Him fitting in. Yeah, I did not like him at all. LOL.
So here's the point, right? This cast is great. So let's throw in Joao and just let it, you know, go to pieces or
yeah. Okay. Let's get to here. So here is our bosun. Here is our bosun, Luke.
Bosun Luke.
Okay.
Flirtatious, laid back.
Yeah, he hinted at being flirtatious. I think we've kind of saw some previews that this guy's gonna be stirring pots. But I think you know, he strikes me as the same kind of leader Captain Jason is, which is rolls up the sleeves and gets to work. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't strike me as I'm the boss, I'll be sitting up in the high chair while you work sort of thing. And so I think, for one, like, Captain Jason already, like, first episode kind of complimented him and indicated, like, I like the cut of this guy's jib, basically.
Yeah.
And I could see them getting along really well, which I like. You know, I like competence. I like good workers. I like watching talented people show their talents. And so this is going to be great.
Now, are you referring to his talents on the boat, or are you referring to his talents with women? Because in the preview, we're seeing him, like, kind of, I think, in kind of a love triangle with two of the stews.
We'll see. We'll see where this goes. I mean, maybe we've got a Gary in the making. So
no, listen,
yeah,
we're
we need
gonna
a
leave.
break.
We're going to leave Sailing and Gary and everyone else alone. I think we got enough of that from the reunion, which, by the way, Below Deck Sailing, a 2-part reunion. I think it was our first 2-part reunion. Either they're low on content or it was really good. I thought it was really good, but I don't know how everyone else feels about that.
It's on my DVR. I will watch it. But yeah. Oh yeah, Mary Stewart brought up the quote. Oh wait, I can't get to it. A love pentagon. That's
Yes, a love pentagon is how Aisha described it. Aisha can literally say anything, like anything at all, and I'll be like, she just makes me excited.
Put her up on the screen.
Let's talk about Aisha. You know, Aisha is from Below Deck Med, and then also the first season of Below Deck Sailing, where she really proved that she could be a chief stew, but she was met with a lot of challenges from Chef Ryan, of course, and also from one of her stews. So she had a lot to work with. She did have Toomey, though. She always seems to have, you know, if Laura works out the way I think she's going to work out, I think she always has someone as like a right hand. But Matt, thoughts on Aisha? And I want to go through the live chat too. If you guys,
well, you know, I don't have as much experience watching her because I didn't watch the full season 1 of Below Deck Down Under. But I do like her. She has a very like laid back attitude and kind of happy go lucky. She's not high strung. There's nothing worse than when you're in a stressful situation already and then a high strung person comes in and just adds a layer of just frustration on top. She seems very laid back and
I have a question for you and also live chat, Josh. Like, do you think, because if you think about our past chief stews, you know, let's go with the most recent, like Fraser. I'm going to leave Natasha out of this. I don't think she deserves that accolade, but Fraser and Hannah and Kate Chastain and Francesca, and I think Bugsy took over at one point, if I'm not mistaken. Kate Chastain and Hannah, there was a point of like not giving a shit, but giving a shit. You know, like, you know something's gonna go happen. You know you're gonna have to go fix the problem. You know you're gonna have to deal with guests, but it's more like we get it. Whereas Aisha is like, she's laid back. She seems to like breathe when things happen instead of getting all like twisted. With like Fraser, we saw in his first season, was very flustered when demands got high. You know.
Yeah, I think again, it's like I sound like a broken record, but this just seems like a crew that's going to work well. I think this show, this particular crew, the highs and lows are going to be the emotional stuff between them and dealing with guests. I don't think it'll be as far as like, this just doesn't strike me, and maybe I'm wrong. This doesn't strike me as like she's going to get ganged up on by her 2 stews and stuff.
No.
It doesn't feel like that kind of season. You know what I mean? Like,
so we haven't met the other stew, Margot, but we have met the stew, Laura. So Laura's from Latvia. She doesn't expect anyone to know where that's from. I actually can point that out on a map, guys. But she gives me this kind of no bullshit vibe as well, but she is also on her own timeline, because when she does take a break for 5 minutes, 5 minutes turns into 20 minutes, and I could see this as being a challenge moving forward, like with Aisha and her in the future, you know?
Jason, and I with Russian girls.
Yes.
And she was like totally struck me as like, oh yeah, I know this girl. We've lived with her. I know. Go take 5 minutes to get ready. Definitely turns into 20 minutes because she's gonna do her makeup, she's gonna do her hair, she's gonna make herself presentable.
And we're just going to Starbucks for a morning coffee.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
But at the same time, while that might be a little frustrating, super strong work ethic. Yeah, I mean, like that's coming out of like that Soviet background, like her, like she was like, why would I take a break? Like when Aisha offered her a break, she was like, no, why would I take a break at this moment? It's just you and I. Like, there's no need for breaks. We have to work. And I was like, good. Yes,
I like, you know, I have to say, I like her background too. She has a background in event planning and being a chef, and had a one table restaurant, and then brought this into yachting. So I'm curious to see if those skills and that skill set carry over into the season. I think, you know, as Maureen said in the live chat, she don't take BS. It seems she It seems she is it. Yeah. She doesn't take BS at all. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so we have Laura. Okay, let's move on. Let's go out to the deck just for a minute before we get to our chef. So we've been through Luke. We have Luke. We also have Adam, and Adam is one of our deckhands. I'm guessing Joao. I said it right. Joao. I'm guessing Joao will be our lead deckhand. I mean, having the bosun background, I'm assuming he'll come in like that. But we have Adam, who he has an unlimited license, which is a big deal. If you ask Captain Sean would be back in a few weeks. But it's funny because he seems like he knows what he's doing. He's worked on commercial vessels, but at the same time, he gets seasick and he can't swim. So these are two things that you wouldn't expect a deckhand to not have,
well,
right?
Especially if it's like, quick, one of the guests is drowning. Go get him. No, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
I do have to say,
I'm not jumping in the water.
Jason, are you the same as me? Like whenever the American gets introduced, you kind of hold your breath and go, please don't be obnoxious. Please don't embarrass us. Please don't be the weirdo on the ship.
Yes. And you know what?
Chase was that guy.
No, Chase turned out to be an okay guy, right?
He did. I like him, but
I hold my breath more for the guests that are American.
Oh yeah.
Like these ones. That makes me cringe.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But
I just want to say with Adam, I was like, sigh of relief. Like he was cool. He was, and it was interesting because like, he's a guy who went to 4 years of school. Like he is properly trained. Like this is what he chose to do for a career. He kind of told the story. Like I didn't know what I was doing in high school. Guidance counselor pulled me aside and helped me get into the school and kind of pushed me on this path. And he loves it. He sounds like he's got a passion for it. And he was working commercial stuff, which actually is interesting because while he doesn't have the guest experience, he's on a converted expedition boat or fishing boat or something from a Japanese converted fishing boat, which is different than a lot of yachts. And we'll talk about a little bit about it because Captain Jason had kind of indicated some of the single propeller and stuff being a challenge. But so it's interesting, like his experience on commercial style boats might actually bode well in helping them with this particular boat. But also he just seems very experienced and very knowledgeable. So
for sure. No, I have to agree. And going back to the boat too, it's very interesting to me. I actually do love this boat. And I think this is kind of a perfect yacht for where they are in the world. So as many of you know, I did a kind of behind the scenes on Adam's channel. I went up to New York the week after BravoCon to go see this yacht, which is called Motor Yacht Asteria. Captain Sean, who is on here every week to give us some tidbits about yachting and everything in the marine industry. He was the captain of this boat, Asteria. And this used to be a tugboat and it was converted into a luxury yacht. It's one of the most beautiful yachts I've ever been on. And it's different because it's not like the others. You know,
I kind of like that. Like when they were showing around this boat, and it's very obvious this was not built originally to be a luxury yacht. Right. And yet I kind of dug it. Like it was cool because also it didn't have to have like the kind of quarters and stuff. So like you saw, like the cruise quarters and stuff are big, like, and a lot of the boat is big. Like the halls are big. There's a lot of room because this was for working in. And so in some ways I'd be like, oh, that'd be nice to have the elbow room around the place. Although our poor chef, everything is huge on this boat except the galley. She's got what is essentially a 1-bedroom apartment's worth of countertops. And I'm not even being funny. Like,
no, I know
that's like the amount of counter space that Natalie and I had in LA. And I'm just like, oh, don't take me back to those days. Like, and she's trying to do 5-star service for multiple people. They got to get her a folding table or something.
They got to get her. They got to get
poor girl.
Like an extra little seat or chair or something to I don't know. It's funny because you watch like let's say sailing or below deck where they have these like full-on galleys and everything is there with all the walk-ins and the freezers and all the storage space and top of the line things. And she really has to be creative here. And since we're jumping into that, let's just talk about Serena, who is our our new chef. She is someone who I feel like this is Chef Rachel, but a bit more contained. Because her backstory was kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, she kind of threw it out there that she was a wild child and found that this talent she didn't even know she had, and then kind of stuck with it, which is cool. She definitely, it's funny, the chefs oftentimes on this show, while they go to all the outings and everything, they always feel like they're a little on the outside of the crew. And because they do spend so much time working alone, essentially. But this particular chef with this crew feels like she's going to be very much involved and like closer to this crew than. Does that make sense? Do you know what I
No,
mean?
100. I don't know if it's like they're on the outs, and I get what you're saying, because they are like a one-person team, and then they have a little bit of support from the interior and the exterior when they need to take dishes or whatever. But they really are. They're cleaning their own galley and going to bed, and then the first one's up, last one's to bed. Kind of like that. But I also feel like there's more stress on the chef, because
definitely it's a hard job. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying, like, I've just noticed that a lot of times they feel a little on their own island, and she doesn't feel like she'll be on that island. I feel like she'll be center of the hot tub. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and that's crazy, because if I was in that position, I would be the same, or I would be on my own island for sure. I would literally be thinking about, what am I doing next? Because it's not only you have to be creative, but you have to time things right.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
For me, it's a shit show.
She's going to make certain bread rolls for dinner. She has to start that in the morning. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, things like that. Like, yeah, you have to be.
No thanks, girl.
I am not faulting them, but I just noticed that there's always kind of this little bit of a wall between them and the rest of the crew, or just a little. And this, I don't see that here. Am I crazy, guys? Do you guys get what I'm saying?
I mean, listen, I get what you're saying for sure. I love how that she said she used to love to start things on fire. I'm very curious to see if she'll start anything on fire that she cooks. She's 30, thriving, living, loving her life. She, I think, will make a great crew member. Okay, our other deckhand that we have is Harry. Let's bring up Harry. The 6 foot, did he say 4 or 2?
4, I think.
6'4". So this is a good yacht for him to be on. At least he's not sleeping above Captain Glenn on the sailing yacht, on Parsifal. Right? Because that would just be,
yeah.
Got to get up to my bed. Let me crawl over you, Captain Glenn. So this guy kind of he kind of reminds me of Captain Sean a little bit. He wants to be an adventure captain and like do all these crazy things and like take the yachts through, I don't know, crazy channels and straits and seas. And
both he and Adam seem game for everything. Like, yep, let's work. What do you need from us? And you could tell they respect Luke right off the bat. They listen to him, but they're also competent, so he doesn't have to tell them everything. What to do exactly. He could just say, hey, go take care of this. Although he was giving them little tips about like, hey, you don't have to run down to the lowest part of the boat when they're trying to throw something to you and stuff like that. But they took all the suggestions as they should have taken them, like, oh, thanks. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Haha.
They're preempting us with this. They seem cool, right? But you have this deck team and they're sitting here and we're like, wow. I mean, they just want to be positive, get shit done. And then of course we're going to throw into the mix, probably next week. And we'll see how that goes down. Because we watched the first episode, or was it an episode and a half, without Gary on sailing. And then when Gary came in, even though he was the guy in charge, right? It just seems like this alpha fight. Yeah, the dynamic changed. And that's what happens is you have this crew, they're already working on a charter together. And then we're going to add, Margot, the other Stu, and then eventually Joao. And it might just be a shit show, because once they form that dynamic, it's like, how do you go from there?
Yeah.
But craziness. We have a good crew. Okay, let's just jump in because we're on our first charter. Everyone's met each other.
Real quick, Aaron, thank you for saying that, guys. There's 160 of you guys watching right now. If you guys are enjoying this, you could give our crew a tip by hitting that like button. It's simple, it's easy to do, but it actually helps us a lot. So thank you guys for hitting it. Yeah, just thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys, and we love a big tip here at Anchor Watch. So if you can give us many likes, we'll get a big fat tip at the end of this.
Oh my God.
So one of the problems I think Jason is having with this specific yacht, because it only has one propeller, is it's old. It's not made for this, and he's going to have to figure out how to drive it. I think we're going to see a consistency of this throughout the season. It's not an electronic brand new yacht with all the stuff. It's been refurbed for what it is. But we have the guests, and here's where I cringed, because like you said, Josh, every time an American is introduced in the cast, you're like, please don't embarrass us for the umpteenth time. Like, please just be normal. And here we go with like literally no one in this group has any kind of etiquette, any kind of respectability, no respect for themselves, the crew, hospitality. When they came on asking for their drinks, clapping in people's faces, I was like, man, hospitality is already so hard, and you don't have the money to be clapping like that, or you would have your own yacht.
But also, nobody has enough money to be clapping in the face of any other human. I don't care how much money you have. So even if they had all the money in the world, that is $1 short of being able to do that. But then they were screaming, fighting what appeared to be, and who knows how long, but within an hour of them arriving, they're screaming at each other. And a lot of it, as we saw, was alcohol fueled. They were all,
of course,
got super drunk, super fast. I don't know, like, and maybe this is the older Josh talking as I get older, but like, just getting so hammered feels like such a waste of all this money you're spending to be on this thing.
100%. We have talked about this so many times, Josh. If we were ever going on a yacht, I mean, yeah, you want to enjoy a drink. If you want to have a drink, have a drink. Don't get obliterated, pass out while the ship is sailing, or while you're missing out on like going on a fun expedition.
One lady missed their first big dinner, which was an amazing looking dinner. She completely missed it because she was passed out in her room. And it's like, well, there's one of 2 dinners that you're going to have, and you missed out. Like, but I hope you enjoy the tens of thousands of dollars being spent on having you guys on this yacht. What a bunch of idiots.
Good job. Yeah. Money well spent.
By the way, we got some super chats. Thank you guys so much.
Queen Josh, thank you. Hello, Queen. See, Josh, no one has forgotten your name here.
No,
you are the queen of the show.
No,
yes, in real life, maybe not.
From a festival. Ooh, at
5 a.m.
That was festival. That's a good festival.
Were you out with the Yachties?
I love this episode. Oh, thank you. We love you too. Thank you very much. The Queen bar.
Josie, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Thank you, Jason and Josh, for always having a consistently amazing show. We appreciate it. We have been. Thank you, Josie, but we've been here for what, 2 years almost, Adam? Or almost. Adam, Josh. I'm so used to being on here with Adam.
almost 2 years. I can't believe it.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, we have been through every franchise now. Since starting this week, every single franchise at least one season or 2.
At least 2.
Twice over, yeah.
Down Under went while we were going, so we couldn't cover it, but it was going while we were going. So, oh boy, and we've actually had multiple. I think 3 of some seasons possibly. Oh my gosh, with the Queen stuff.
Hail Queen Josh! Josh is the ruler of our Anchor Watch night. He's the late night queen that you want to listen to. All right. Sorry. Anyway, these guests were just crazy, and I don't even know where to go with this, because I'm bringing some photos up really quick. When you get to the point where you're walking around like hollering and literally laying against the wall, being like and then going and asking for more champagne, that is the time to not do that. And Laura was so nice. Yes, Serena made a great like seafood tower meal, like your first, here you go, here's some seafood. I don't know, it just, to me, their requests were just very basic. You know, it's like, great, you have a seafood tower. That seems appropriate for, you know, the guests that we have.
But I'm surprised they didn't ask for that stupid gold steak or whatever.
Oh yeah, with the gold flakes or what? Oh, what trash! That is so trash.
So nasty.
Sorry.
It's like they went and Googled, like,
what do rich people eat?
they Googled stupidly rich, and Google heard stupid loud and clear, and then gave some ideas, and they came in and started demanding all that stuff. It was like, yeah. So this.
What other kind of food do you think rich people eat? Gold flaked steak.
Well, let me tell you what I eat.
Oh God, oatmeal.
Some oatmeal, not too warm, not too cold, just room temperature. You know what I mean? And
fresh fruit if you're feeling fabulous.
If I'm feeling fab, half a banana, but overdue. You know? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Making a gross meal here.
I thought, you know, too, with the guests, when they said they were going to go swimming, and Laura was like, that is a no. I'm telling you right now, we're going to lay down the boundaries.
So because let's set the stage. It was everyone had gone to bed, all the guests but one we thought at first, which was the Jason guy. Storming around.
Not me. He does not have my name, and I would never
storming around in his
ever
demanding champagne. So and the poor crew just wants to go to bed, and this, you know, jackhole's running around asking for more champagne, and then one of the other gals comes up from her room. We thought she was asleep and joins him, and they say he goes and he asks for permission. He asks Laura, "Can we swim?" You know, night, and it's late at night, and she's like, "No, absolutely, you cannot swim. That's dangerous. No, you cannot swim. Do not swim. Please do not swim." And they're like, "Okay, we're gonna swim." And she's like, "Don't," or the party's over.
Splash, splash. Here we are.
Those morons. In the water. As soon as she walks away, they jump in. Oh my goodness, they jump right in. What does she do? Immediately goes and tells Captain Jason, and he came up and was no nonsense.
I mean, we have seen this before. We've seen. Do you remember the one who jumped off from below deck and who was kicked off? The crazy woman.
Yeah.
Remember? And then she was like swimming away, and she thought it was funny. Like it's like those people on the planes who get like really drunk, and then you have to like stop, pull over. And then the police have to come escort them off the plane, and you have to get them out of there. Like, we don't want that. Like, no one wants to watch that. None of the other guests want that. It's insane to me. But I thought Jason handled it very differently than maybe another captain would have.
Well, I mean, he basically told them, they kept pushing, and he said, "Tomorrow we're going to go to dock and you're getting off." And the one guy in the Speedo actually said, like, "Wait, hold it, bitch," or something like that. He called him bitch, and that's like what the show ended on, which I was like,
ooh, well, you know how Bravo does this, right? Bravo does this where they edit it into a way where you think was he talking to her or was he talking to him? That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's our cliffhanger for a first episode. I do have to say, for a first episode, let me see what you guys rated in the poll in the live chat. So 56% of you guys loved it, 36% liked it, and then everyone else was just like, so it's fine.
80% thought it was a 3 or 4 out of 4.
Exactly. And I think, to be honest, like leaving us with that cliffhanger, with the crew you gave us, with the first charter guests, we are here for a win. We already have a cliffhanger in the first episode. We have a new boat, a boat it's not a super luxury yacht. It is a luxury yacht, but it doesn't have the same, like, let's say, technology or maybe toys, but we haven't seen that yet. So maybe they do. But we're off to such a good start, like completely. 100%.
And the preview looked good. So
preview looks great. And it's almost like they kind of like went and got a makeover from Peacock, right? It's like you had a good captain, you had a, you know, mediocre cast who were good at their jobs, and mediocre fun, mediocre guests, and it was fine, but it was good on Peacock, and we liked the captain, we liked the chief stew, we were interested in more, and then now we have this cast, it's like, oh, let's up the ante a little bit. Let's throw in this guy who used to be on Below Deck Med. Let's bring in crazier guests. Let's do a whole different yacht. Good thinking. Good thinking.
It's gonna be good. I'm glad with what we have. I think this is gonna be good. I'm excited for this season.
Me too. Can I be honest? I was really getting sick of talking about sailing.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, we were getting tired of talking about that love triangle because that's kind of what we were getting the most of. It kind of reminds me of. They're all blending together now. Was it Mediterranean with the guy
and Dave?
And her boy, same kind of thing. It gets tiring talking about a relationship where you want to grab both people by the collars and just scream, "Break up, you idiots! You don't belong together. Just stop it. No one wants to see it anymore. Just knock it off."
It's not even good TV. When we have to, when the only thing we're looking forward to is to see if Captain Sandy won't hit one of those dolphins on the way in. That's not good, or what kind of drama Kyle will come up with in the next episode. Like that's all we had to look forward to. But I feel like here we have a good dynamic. And yeah, sailing to me was the best season of sailing, I have to say. Season 4 was amazing. The fact that they have a 2-part reunion, the reunion was great. By the way, if you guys haven't watched it, check it out. Maybe we'll touch on it a little bit next week. Because the second part just came out right before I jumped on here tonight.
Nice.
But yeah, the love triangle thing gets a little old. It's like you're taking focus off so many things, but also that's why the season was so good. So it's confusing. It's confusing, but we know that Colin and Daisy didn't end up being together. Everyone was thinking that during the reunion, because it happened on the season 3 reunion, that Gary would come around the corner and be in the same place as Daisy, like he was before, and it didn't happen from what I heard. Because I haven't watched the second part yet, but it looked like they were in the same place, so that would be interesting.
Well,
guys, we're gonna love you and leave you here. It's our first episode of Below Deck Down Under. We'll be back next week. That is under the preface that I have internet where we are, so I don't really know.
Yes, that's
we will let you know.
We'll let you guys know. Follow Jason at Jason Barrett on Twitter. Follow me at SeeJoshGo on Twitter. You'll get updates from us there. And if you haven't, hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for that. If you do, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be fun. Thank you guys all for coming to watch it. And if you're part of the replay crew, comment down below. Jason and I, we always check in during the week and comment back. You guys always leave such great stuff. Oh,
serious. Oh, we have another super chat from Summer Sunshine. Love you too. Take the time to review. The boat is so old. Why Jason has to have this boat? Below Deck Die Hard. Love that you see what we see. Summer, thank you for being here and talking about this with us. It's so fun. We also have, guys.
Hey, Summer, again, this might be a good thing. This boat might be a good thing. I'm excited for this boat. I know it's older and stuff like that, and it's a converted, it's not a luxury yacht, but I think this could be a good thing. So let's not keep the faith a little bit longer, and we'll see.
I think it will be a good thing, like you said, Josh. No, for sure. Guys, in the next week or two, we're gonna have Ryan Bailey from So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey joining us to recap an episode of Below Deck Down Under. Yeah, yes, so do I. So, and it was great last week when we did it with your wife Natalie and Bailey. We'll have them back as well. We're gonna have some guests and get the energy amped up in here for this new season of Below Deck Down Under.
Hopefully Greg's watching. We'll get Greg on here for you guys.
Yes.
And just thank you guys for everyone. Thank you to our mods too. That's like the unsung heroes, but and just thank you all for chatting. You guys leave such good stuff. You guys are half the show, so thank you for that.
Yeah, we love the live chat is amazing. And then Captain Sean will be back in the next week or two, depending on where and what we have going on. Guys, thank you. Have a lovely week. If you're part of the replay crew, because we have a strong replay crew, leave your comments below on your thoughts on this premiere, because we always comment back. We always read every single comment that comes in here, and we will see you guys all next week. Josh, have a good week. Bye, everyone.